What's going on, YouTube? Sorry, excuse me. I just coughed and right in the worst time. Doing a little update on what's going on with the house. As typically is with this house, guys, we, take 3 steps forward, maybe 1 step back or 2 steps back, and then 3 more forward. Everything's kind of getting there, but we now are finally getting the plumbing done. And we've already had a lot of the plumbing done downstairs. A little bit downstairs, I should say, and a lot upstairs, all the faucets and all that. That was done, we moved in the house. But now, because, as you guys can see, unfortunately, we had to re-destroy the bedroom a little bit, just stack some crap that's in the storage room in order to, we fixed all the basement, which looks really nice. And all this side was fixed a while back because of a flood. Now this side's all fixed because of a flood. So now we had the plumber come out because we do not want to go through any more problems. So we are having him do work down here. So he did come here scoping things out and got a price list, and he's ran uptown to get what he needs. So with that being said, I'm going to show you guys what we got going on today. He brought his stuff. We are, to save a little bit of money, the toilet was going to be moved to right here. The water softener that's there was going to be moved to the corner. And we're eliminating both of these home water filters that go through the lines because they're really not. They should be, he said, after this, it should be right next to it. And they're a pain in the ass getting them way up here, so he's going to move it down here. So this water softener is going to be moved over to this corner. I am going to have him keep it away from completely to the wall because I still have to fix this drywall on the wall. Ain't got to be perfect, but I do want it covered up. I want to have room. So it's going to kind of go right here. The new filter system is going to be hooked up right here. All this piping that you see, guys, valve. I mean, it's insane. He's going to clean all this valves up. This flex line is going to become a normal line. The washer line that's got to go way down here and then come up is going to be, he's going to help fix that up a little bit. All these bad faucet valves are going to be replaced. Just all these lines, guys, are going to be done properly. They're all going to be done and replaced. All this is going to be cleaned up. All this piping we have here because of the swamp cooler is going to be done differently and getting rid of. And he's fixing it all, guys. Underneath the crawl space, he's going to be doing some work and fixing to our bladder tanks. He's going to be putting new bladder tank shutoff valves. We have 2 down there, so he's going to shut one down with a valve. That way, the whole point of having 2 bladder tanks was so if one goes bad, the other one can then be turned on and used. The problem is, the guy that put both of them in, he's using them both. One's obviously being used first, but the other one is still filling up with water and everything like that. So it's kind of stupid. They're both aging, you know what I'm saying? So you're not going to they're both going to be just as old as the other. So it might buy you a little bit of time because the chances of one going out the same as the other time is probably slim to none. Anyways, he'll probably explain it better to me how it's going to work, because my other thought is if you have 2 and they're not being filled with water or whatever, they're just shut down, won't that bladder tank or rubber get kind of old? I don't know. Anyway, I do like the thought of having 2. That way, even if we do got to replace them, I'll replace both of them. That way we can have 2, right? And we can, one breaks down, we'll have another one. So everything will be replaced except for the well pump. Don't know how old that is. We'll deal with it if it ever breaks. But any problem we could possibly have that's because of a leak or causing a water problem, that is going to be resolved. So, and all this chaos. Look at all this chaos, guys. And when I mean chaos, it's just not done right? We got a cheap green line here that could possibly go bad and fill up with sediment. He's going to go through that, make sure it's connected properly. He's going to all this shit here is going to be all done properly. It's going to all be redone. We got valves after valves after valves. He's going to make it all make sense. Only have 1 or 2 lines that we need instead of having, you know, like this whole line right here, guys, runs, you know, just to have a filter here. So it's literally just a water line we don't need. It just doesn't make sense. We got valves all over the place. I don't even know what the hell they all go to. It's just insane. So he's a certified plumber. He's a buddy of mine. He's going to get it all taken care of and fixed up and done properly and cleaned up. And then we're going to have less valves, less problems, and also put in the, you know, instead of the turn style faucet, kind of, I don't know what you call them, guys. You know, the faucets or whatever that turn. He's going to turn them in all to the shutoff valves. You know, instead of these that can technically, you know, they leak and go bad, he's just going to do like a shutoff valve or whatever. There's also some lines under the house. There's one that goes to a spigot out in the garage. It doesn't even, it's like angled wrong, so there's no way for the water to actually back out. So he's going to put a bleeder in there so you can bleed it and drain it. He's also going to change the pitch of it. So yeah, he's doing a lot of work. Total job was going to be $400 in plumbing, but by not moving the toilet, leaving the toilet the way it is, plus he's cut me a little bit more of a deal since he's a friend of mine. He's going to be doing all this for $3,350. If I was to call a plumber like we did call, he actually, guys, won't put the business out there, but he actually worked for this company, and he went out on his own. But this company is ridiculously expensive. If I had to have these guys come out, they'd cost me probably over 2 times the amount of what he's charging me. So definitely wanted to take advantage of his generosity and him being a friend of mine. Really appreciate the deal. And because, guys, we don't want to go another flood and ruin all the brand new carpet. We just put, you know, 16,000 again more. Finally got the entire basement redone. I don't want to do this again. I'm very busy. I started a new job yesterday. Same company, General Motors, but into machining. And I found out that we're going to be working, once launch mode comes for the new engine, I'm going to be working mandatory 7 days a week. So I am not going to have time to deal with problems. I'm already burnt out as it is, having contractors out here and then plumbers and carpet people. And it's been, ever since the new year, it's been nothing but chaos, and nothing is, you know, just, we finally get the place cleaned up. We got to destroy it again. You know what I mean? But this should be hopefully one of the last things we have to do that's immediate need. Not that anything per se, but there's just so many things that could go wrong. So we don't even just want to take on, it's in the back of my head, something could happen. And I do not want to, I just want to get it fixed, guys, for, you know, for $3,300, $3,350, just take care of it. Acknowledge every single pipe in this house will be looked at. And then in this spring, there's one pipe, which spring is almost here, that goes outside that the old owner told me is piped into a 3-inch PVC pipe, which the plumber said is a good thing. But I don't trust him because nothing he did was right. So in the spring, I'm going to pay him, the plumber, my buddy Dave, I'm going to have him cut or trench out to where that pipe just comes out of the house and make sure, because right now they got that flex line, that black flex line I showed you, that flex line, which is stupid. It goes way up and over. That thing breaks or cracks, you're screwed. It's holding water because the water can't go anywhere. So essentially it holds water. And then when more water comes through, like through the water softener, it then pushes the old water through. So there's always heavy water sitting in there. I mean, you just got a potential for a problem. So he's going to PVC direct pipe that right out. He's going to connect it through the wall to whatever's there. And then in the spring, we're going to trench, make sure that it's connected and running through a PVC pipe outside, like a 3 or 4 inch. If it's not, then we're going to trench and we're going to make sure it is, and then run it out to the pond or somewhere, probably the pond, because it's clean water. And then if it is, then he just will make sure the connection is good and whatnot. So long story short, he's doing quite a bit of work, guys. He's probably going to be here. He said he could probably knock it out in one full day, like 8 to 10 hours. But he's really good. I mean, he goes in there, guys, and cuts the pipe and does his little gluing and the connections and curves and solder, and I mean, he just knows what he's doing, so he can get this shit done. Now, he did say if he takes his time, maybe doesn't put in super long days, make sure we have water every night when he leaves. Maybe 2 or 3 days at the max. So I told him, take your time. As long as we have water when I come home, I'm working second shift, so I'm not even home beginning of the day, and my wife stays with a friend because it's closer to her job during the week. So really, there's no reason for him to bust ass and like work his ass off. I'd rather him take his time, don't feel pressure, so he don't want to rush. And you know, we all do it, right? We get busy, we're tired, we start cutting corners and whatnot. I just don't want that to happen because I don't want no more problems. So long story short, guys, I've been extremely busy. Let me show you the bathroom, because obviously in my past videos I've showed the bathroom. Don't mind the mess. It's done, but it's not done. Now it's on me. So it's the bathroom, guys. I am now currently painting it. It's all done. We've been using it. We've been showered. It's been fantastic. It looks good. Still got that cedar smell, that wood. A day ago I started finally painting. As you guys can see, I have one coat. I've got that wall. I don't even think I'm going to need to do another coat on that wall. That turned out really good. The nice thing is, I already had a pretty nice paint job in this bathroom already, and we're doing the same colors. So really, one nice good coat will cover, because there's actually no, there's no existing paint behind it that's coming through from, when you got to do 1 or 2 coats. Because there's already like 2 or 3 coats of the same color, I just have to, I skimmed it. I sanded down all the more imperfections, because when I first painted, there's a lot more imperfections. So I actually might do one more coat because I can see lines here still. So I might do one more, but screw it. I want to do it right. But anyways, 1 or 2 good quick coats, guys, and it looks super nice. I did the ceiling. Ceiling's done. You can see how glossy it is. A couple imperfections where nails bumped out. But like right there, I might putty that up a little bit and maybe hit that. There's like a line right there, but it was much more pronounced before. It's not perfect. They had a hook right there. I've mudded that. It's not going to be perfect. The only way, guys, in an old home that was built in the 70s, or an older home in general, is if you literally skim coat the walls with a fresh, complete new skim coat, or you rip out the drywall and put in new. So what I did is I just used a sander. Actually, it was a sander that goes onto a drill, little vibrating sander, and I just knocked down all the imperfections in the wall. The ceiling looked a lot worse. I had a lot of little things in it. I sanded them all down. Like that line right there was really, really pronounced. It actually looks worse in camera. I guess it's not perfect, but it really was a lot more pronounced than that. I'll deal with that little crack right there. I'll mud that in and sand it and get that sort of looking a little better. But overall, when it's all said and done, guys, when I get probably 2 to 3 coats of paint on the wood, that new wood that we put down, that's really going to pop. I still need to paint the closet, paint all the, just get coats and coats of paint on all this stuff. Get it looking real nice. I'm put a curtain right up here. Get all of our pictures put back in. Put in the cabinets and everything. It's going to look pretty damn good. But as you guys can see, I've been going to work. I don't really have time. Obviously, I'm going to caulk these lines here to give it more of a clean look. But I don't have time today. I had to work. Like I said, I'm learning a new job, and it's a lot of this, which is great. Less physical work, but a lot to learn. I got to run multiple machines, robots. I have to learn I'm doing lockout training right now, so I don't kill myself or somebody else. So you got to lock out from these machines properly, make sure it's done right. You got to learn how to, there's a lot, guys. So it's a little bit, my mind's kind of racing, just so much. But I'm looking forward to finally learning it, getting it good, and then my job is mostly going to be running around keeping machines going instead of physically working, physically doing physical work, which I don't mind physical work, but I've been doing it long enough. Anyways, so there's that, guys. So the house still isn't put together. It's a lot better than it was, but we are looking forward to this plumbing being done, because it's one less thing that's going to be off my mind. I've always been thinking about it, guys, especially ever since we fixed the basement again. I am so tired of having problems. And we have decided, for all you out there that are wondering, We have decided to keep the house, at least right now. We are getting quotes to do an addition. The addition is happening, guys. As long as it seems to hit where we think it's going to hit, it's probably going to be an $80,000 to $100,000 addition. And instead of possibly turning the garage into another living space. So let me go over that with you real quick, guys, for all that's interested. This garage is $580,000. So my mom and dad are going to be retiring no matter what by the end of the year, or if the quotes come back this week is officially, we got somebody working on a hardcore quote. If it comes back for the most part around that $100,000 range, we're going to go ahead and do it. This garage will turn into a living space. There'll be stairs that go up, and we're putting also an addition up top that's going to run this entire length of the garage. And it's going to come all the way into over the kitchen, over into the dining room, and stop right there, and come all the way out here through the living room. They're going to have probably 1,400 and some square foot, guys. So almost doubling the size of this house. Now, we are thinking, I would like to try to save the garage. So one of the builders said that they can actually build the addition 100% up top. Forget what he called it, but there's special hangers that he can get so that it hangs off each side of the house, probably at least, he knows for sure, feet. But he's talking to his engineer to see if it's possible to do even like 3-4 feet, or as much as they can, right? Try to squeeze as much space up top as they can out to the right, left, and side. That way they don't even have to utilize the garage, which will save more money, and I won't have to give up my garage. If we give up the garage, we're then going to have to build another garage out the front, and we won't do that right now because that'll cost $25,000. So, and that would be a cost that me and my wife would have to absorb. This addition is going to be completely funded by my parents because this is their retirement. So they're selling their home that's paid for, and they're going to take that money and they're going to build the addition onto our home, which benefits everybody, right? It benefits them because they're going to have a place to live that's 100% paid for. Right now, they pay an HOA fee, they pay taxes, they pay all sorts of stuff. So by living here with us, the taxes will go up, obviously, but they said they'd pay the difference on the taxes while they're living here. And then we'll just, they'll pay the utilities, whatever the difference is, which shouldn't be too much. But, they're going to live here very, very cheaply. And there'll be a point, guys, as I get longer in my career, and we're really on a pretty hardcore debt payoff plan. We're on a 6 years payoff plan. We probably fast tracked that by a couple of years just by recently what we've done. So we're getting nothing but better shape financially. So there's going to be a point where it's like, don't even worry about the extra taxes. I'll just pay it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to be on a limited income, Social Security. They're going to have a decent little retirement, but it's not going to be, nothing crazy. So, but my dad's worked hard his whole life, and it's time for them to relax. My mom has technically been retired for quite a few years, but they were mostly, my dad did most of the working. My mom did work when she was younger for quite a few years, and then for quite a few years now she's been home. But he's got a job where he's getting up at 1:30 in the morning to get to his truck and drive all day, and he's 63 right now, so he's been working though since he was 18, probably younger. It's time for him to relax and enjoy his life. So I came up with this idea. It's gone several different ways to Sunday of how we're going to do it. Wasn't even sure if this house would work because how much it was going to cost. But after talking to a lot of contractors and thinking and all this, we've come up with a solution now to go up instead of out, which is great because it doesn't affect us tearing up the garage. It doesn't affect us tearing up the lawn, the driveway. $25,000 just to get the property, like the ground ready to build on. That all can go into the house now. So actually it's turning out pretty good. I don't see the city saying no to it because we're just going up. We're not asking to go out. And technically we're on over an acre and a half. We have the space if we wanted to go out. I don't think that'd even be a problem. But going up makes most sense. It's going to look like it was supposed to be there from the beginning of when the house was built. And if we don't have to touch the garage, wonderful. If we do, we're going to put a big carport. They're going to pay for a big carport out front. And we're going to park under a carport, run new lines to charge the car, move the RV for my in-laws a little bit further down, set up a hookup there. So, but if we don't have to do anything with the garage, we don't have to change anything. So all the money we put into electrical and plug for the car and the RV and everything don't have to be messed with. So ideally, I'm hoping that can be, because eventually me and my wife want to redo the garage, make it a nice garage, insulated garage, nice floor where we can turn it into like a party if we have a family party or something like that. So I'm really hoping the garage can not be, they can do everything up top. Now, as my parents aged, the stairs was a concern on my part, thinking they wouldn't want to do it because of stairs. But they don't seem too worried about it. And then I talked about, to the builder, making the stairs to go up a little bit wider, another 1.5 foot wider. So someday when they get older and they maybe don't, get a little unstable or whatever, we can do a lift. And they can just sit on a chair and I can take them all the way up there. Obviously, once it gets to the point, if they live to be a very old age and it's like just them being alone or being anywhere is probably not a good thing, we'll bring them down here to the house and they'll just have to stay in the living room. We'll move the chairs out. We'll put in a nice chair bed or something. There's solutions that we can do to take care of them. So, and then obviously having that home for us will be a blessing someday when they're no longer with us. Because it increased the value of the home considerably. So if we ever want to sell, it'll be part of our retirement. Or if we ever want to rent out the upstairs, it's all going to be separated. It's going to have its own door, own entry point, all that. It's going to have laundry. It's going to have a kitchenette. And there's going to be 1,400 square foot. So, I mean, that's easy $1,200 a month, probably more. But if I wanted to keep it affordable for somebody, as long as it's not so cheap somebody destroys it, but I'm going to be living here too, right? So I'll kind of have a little bit of control to a point, right? You don't want to be invasive, but it's an easy $1,200 to $1,500 a month, plus my pension, plus anything we've got saved. So it's going to be a good thing for everybody. It even could help possibly some family, depending on situation or whatever. But they get older, they don't have a whole lot going on as far as for retirement, so it might help them. Maybe we can charge them a very modest price to live there too, and they'd be taken care of. So it's going to open doorways for a lot of different situations, scenarios, and people. But anyways, I'm looking forward to seeing that. The nice thing is as long as this quote comes back pretty solid, and it can go up and down, but the guy's going to put in a 10 to 15% variance of up and down. He really talks about trying to stay under budget and staying on track. So he knows how important it is to stay where we want to stay. So as long as that comes out good, they're going to put their house up for sale in May, April-May time frame. And as soon as it sells, they're going to be coming down and they're going to start the process, which will be great because then my dad and mom can take over. They can deal with the contractors and they can deal with all that. And I can just go to work, and it's not something I really want to do. So anyways, guys, I have to use the bathroom real quick before the plumber gets back here and needs to start tapping in. So I will holler at you guys later. That's just a quick little update on what's going on in my life. Not real super important. I'm not doing a whole lot. I have started playing a little bit of games a little bit here and there, very touch and go. But I started playing Resident Evil Requiem. I did buy it on the Switch too. Amazing game. I'll do a quick little video on that maybe before today. All right, guys, take it easy.